Hi, welcome to another episode of 600 Seconds in HRTech. We are live in Snowbird, Utah at the RedThread Summit, and I have with me Anne Fulton, who is the CEO of Fuel50. Welcome. We're so glad to have you here. So Anne, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Anne Fulton, CEO and founder of Fuel50. I work with a team of around 60 amazing, passionate, mission-driven fuelies, and massive fan of RedThread since the day you guys started.
Thank you. So Anne, let's get right into it. I want to talk a little bit about task intelligence, which Fuel50 has just unveiled. And you guys are calling it the new layer of workforce intelligence. So can you tell us a little bit about what this is and what this means for your customers and how they're viewing your product?
Yes, thank you. We did a press release this week, just to announce it at your conference. But Fuel50 is now a workforce intelligence platform in its truest sense. So it's a transformation system to support people and organizations as they evolve and prepare for the future of work. So we're bringing in the task intelligence unit alongside our skills and people and job intelligence that we've always delivered as part of our system capabilities. So tasks are the new atomic unit of work. So if you think, where is AI disrupting work today, it's at the task level. It's not necessarily at the skills level and it's not at the job level, but it's at the tasks that each of us are doing. We have wonderful opportunities to automate a lot of the tasks that we do on a daily basis. And what does that look like at scale across organizations? And that's what Fuel50 is solving for, is to connect that task intelligence where the opportunity is for automation, for augmentation, and what remains strategically human. So what tasks do we need to do and can we solely do, but also what is augmentable and automatable. And that gives an organization a view of the transformation that is ahead of them in terms of where the opportunities are. More importantly, and this is where Fuel50 is a little differentiated, is that we also believe in bringing people on the journey. So while we're giving that task intelligence into the hands of HR leaders, transformation leaders, business leaders, and line leaders, frontline leaders, because they're the shock absorbers of the change today, the line managers. But we think it's really important that people can see where the opportunity is to change and evolve their role so that they remain relevant and resilient and have futures. So we're mission driven around creating those futures for work, for people. And it's so important that each and every employee can see where their role can be transformed, to be given the skills and the opportunities to be able to see where their tasks can evolve and what kind of tooling is going to support them. And most importantly, what skills are they going to need to be able to work with those tools. So to us, it's not just human in the loop, but bringing people on the journey is our strategic differentiator. It's so important, we believe.
Oh, thank you for telling us that. So another thing we wanted to talk about is Fuel50 has launched a skill growth predictive model earlier, and this kind of connects the development activities to skills progression. So can you tell us a little bit about how this model works in practice, and what are customers, how are they learning about how development activities kind of connect to how development activities actually move the skills needle?
Yes. So the predictive skills model, is so important for organizations. For us, it's about measuring impact and outcomes, of your skill transformation, because it's important that, people are evolving their skills. So what we're able to do is recognize, what kind of activities are building the right kind of skill growth in organizations. So where are individuals acquiring those skills? Where are they doing that at aggregate? Where are the skill gaps, across the organization? And then what kind of activities will fuel that kind of growth in skills so that organizations can evolve at scale, as can the individuals across that organization. So our predictive skills model will provide that intelligence into the hands of business leaders and HR leaders in particular, and show them where the opportunities are. What is shifting the needle? Is it stretch assignments? Is it mentoring? We've seen a really strong correlation between mentoring and business outcomes. So more promotion rates, more lateral mobility, more internal mobility, and more skill acquisition, where some of those activities are used. And mentoring is a wonderful example of how that's evolving. And I did once have a wonderful conversation with Danny where she questioned me about, can we see how your solution is actually impacting learning and growth and outcomes? And so, we're now truly able to deliver that at the touch of a button.
That's amazing.
And share those opportunities. So stretch assignments through our gig product, coaching with managers, and mentoring are all examples of the kind of activities that are driving learning within organizations.
Yeah, thank you. Is that data mostly in the hands of leaders, or are you seeing employees as well have access to this data?
We do that differently for employees, but at the organizational level, it sits largely in the hands of people leaders, people analytics leaders, and business leaders. We do give a wonderful skills dashboard to team managers, to line managers, so that they can see across their entire team where the skill opportunities are, where the skill gaps are, who needs the coaching. And the leader co-pilot will help the leaders with those conversations to drive that learning and connect the employees to that learning. So the visibility to an employee is more about what skill and learning activities are going to grow those skills, what their skill gaps are, and most importantly, what are the predicted skills across the organization and what are the skills in demand. So, bringing your employees on the journey. But, leaders, they're at the front line of all this change and transformation. So how do we help them with those better conversations and better guidance systems to their employees? And of course, HR needs that overall visibility to what's trending.
All the vendors we speak to have an AI story.
Yes.
We recently released Learning Tech, and we find that AI is everywhere.
Yes.
What is Fuel50's take on this?
So, we've been AI, since day one, because, if you think we've got all the matching algorithms sitting within our system. So Fuel50 is an AI native company. And we've been putting that AI to power, to use to be able to accelerate learning and growth and create velocity around learning and growth in organizations and do that at scale. And one of the things that's really hard to build out a skills infrastructure in organizations. I know many organizations get stuck at that level. So the skills curator agent is supporting organizations on that really important work so that you can truly become a skills-based organization and have the intelligence layer to be able to understand how skills match to people, to roles, to functions, and now, of course, to tasks. So, the AI capabilities within our solution mean that we can become, and because of our approach to that, I need to talk about trust. That was very much on the agenda here at this conference. Trust and transparency, two strongly, frequently heard words, I think, through this conference. So we've built a lot of guardrails into our models to make sure that we are never going to let a customer down in terms of trust with their people. We think it's really important so that your employees can trust the AI. We will never do harm with our solutions. And we won't create any legal defensibility issues for our customers. So we work with highly regulated organizations, like banks and financial institutions and healthcare institutions who have, real governance and regulatory responsibilities. So we want to make sure that we can be trusted and that we are transparent around how AI is being used. And I think every employee can trust that Fuel50 has their best interests at heart, that mission driven around creating futures for people. We care, we are very humanistic as an organization. We care deeply. We don't want a society where people, are left by the wayside. We do not want to see that happen. We want futures for those early career folk that, so that they have got those opportunities to learn and grow, and organizations will have that visibility to what kind of career paths from early entry point in your career to create the kind of people that you need with the skills later on in life, so that those entry positions are not neglected. So to us, we care deeply, at multiple levels around that AI transformation, so that people are not left by the wayside and that you're taking your people on the journey.
I love that. As you mentioned, trust has been a big theme. So I think it's going to be more important in the future.
Yes.
So appreciate you talking with us. Thank you so much. You've been watching 600 Seconds in HRTech, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you.
We recently caught up with Anne Fulton at RedThread Summit. Anne is the CEO of Fuel50, and we got to chat a little bit about their newest product offerings. One of those is task intelligence. This is a new layer of their workforce intelligence platform, and it sits with their existing people and job intelligence. What this does is it helps organizations figure out how AI is changing work at the task level and helps organizations determine what tasks should be automated, where you can augment human effort, and what requires only human involvement. This is interesting, not only because this adds a new granular layer to the data, but also because this is, if this task data can be connected to skill data and job data, it helps leaders make better calls on things like workforce planning, redesigning work, and AI adoption. And it's not just leaders who see it. Employers can also see how their own roles and tasks are evolving. This actually lines up pretty well with the mega trend RedThread is seeing this year about data becoming a strategic infrastructure. We find that good data and connecting the dots across different types of it is actually what helps drive better decisions. So this works really great for organizations in that respect. Anne also talked about another feature called the predictive skills model, which links development activities like stretch assignments and mentoring to outcomes like promotion and internal mobility. This is interesting because it tries to give organizations insight into what development levers are actually worth investing in to move the needle on things like mobility and promotions. Two aspects of this that we like. One is that the information shows up for leaders on a dashboard so they can see what's working and what's not. And the second is employees also get access, but they see a different view. They see what activities will grow their skills, where their own skill gaps are, and also what the predicted skills are across the organization so they can plan for their own development and next moves. This is a really cool idea. However, in this conversation, we just didn't get into how this works under the hood, so it'll be interesting to dig into that a little bit more. We also really like that Fuel50 is taking transparency seriously. They work in highly regulated industries such as banking, financial services, and healthcare. They say they've built guardrails into the model so employees can trust the AI, and they're committed to transparency about how AI is being used. Again, this connects to something bigger we're seeing about how trust between orgs and employees is eroding. So it's really good to see vendors leaning into building that trust. But as always, we encourage you to always ask all your vendors questions about safety, understand what the guardrails are and what they actually do for you. It was really great to catch up with Anne at Summit. We'll see you in the next episode of 600 Seconds at HRTech.